Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel Complicated Relationships Reddit Stories. Hope you guys are safe and healthy. Now let's see what we have in store for you today. In today's story, the man says, "My wife has been cheating since our first year anniversary." Now this is a complete story, so please stay with us until the very end. Though I'm still very early in my recovery, I wanted to share my story with this community. Me and my wife were married on August of 2019. Things weren't easy. We fought a decent amount, but never to the point where I thought we were in danger of losing each other. We both had our struggles along the way. I have been in active recovery for an X-rated movie habit for over 6 years, while she was starting her therapy journey to address childhood mistreatment. I thought we were on the right track. When August 2020 came along, our relationship still had its rough spots. But it was the first year of marriage, so it was supposed to be this hard, right? I believe that even though we weren't where we were at least in a better spot than where we started. A couple of weeks into August, my wife became more and more distant. She spent more and more time with her male friends from work. I began to have concerns, but every time I broached them with her, she would lay my fears to rest, saying, "You are the one who struggles with lust, not me. I am never one-on-one. I just make friends with better guys," etc. Despite my misgivings, I figured she was right. After all, I was the one who struggled with bad habits. I needed more boundaries than she did, right? We had the talk early on in our marriage that we wanted to set the boundary of never being in a one-on-one setting with someone of the opposite gender. We wanted to be above reproach. While she did acknowledge this conversation, she didn't think it was necessary for her that her struggles weren't with physical relations and I should be okay with her hanging out with male co-workers. After all, they are all Christian guys working at a Christian restaurant. What could happen? In mid-August, we celebrate our anniversary. During this time, we decided to go on a large group trip where we would rent an Airbnb in the Northern Peninsula. During this trip, a lot of our closest friends came along, including the guy I would come to learn that she was having an affair with. During the trip, my suspicions really ramped up. She was very distant from me and spent more and more one-on-one time with this guy despite my misgivings. Things really came to a head when I came back one night and realized they were out alone in the lake swimming together. It had gotten to the point where even some of her other friends called her out on her behavior. Fast forward to August 30th. D-Day happened. I had been very suspicious by now, and every night when she came home my questions were, "Where have you been? Who have you been with?" I didn't think she was having an affair, but I told her that I believed she was at risk for having one, that no one could spend this much one-on-one time in intimate settings with someone else and not develop feelings. Anyway, on the 30th we were leaving church and she was again acting very distant. I decided to ask her straight up, "Are you invested in this marriage?" That's when she replied, "We need to talk." She took me to a park and told me what had been happening. She told me it has been going on since the anniversary. She said she loves this guy and does not plan to stop seeing him. That was just about a month ago. During our few interactions since then, she has made it very clear that she does not want to be back in the marriage, even if this guy wasn't in the picture. She told me that if our marriage wasn't already crumbling, she wouldn't have gone looking elsewhere. My brain knows that is bogus, but my heart still thinks it's my fault. In the meantime, she has continued to see this guy, post on Instagram about how much she loves him, and tell her friends about how I should have fought for her more. Something worth noting is that she is a manager at this Christian restaurant, and the guy is a new hire. Apparently her boss is aware and has chosen to forgive her, cover it up and go against all their values. I never thought I would get a divorce, but the choice is being made for me. Even if she did want to work on things, I'm not sure I could. I'm living with my parents right now, and this is all just too much for me sometimes. I still wear the ring, not ready to take it off. I know she doesn't, but still. There are times when I feel excited for the future, but other times even doing basic tasks is too hard. I can't sleep, too many graphic dreams. and I am just trying to get by. I do have things to keep me busy, and I do have a new job starting in October which will be helpful, but that is where I'm at. I've found it difficult to find people who can relate. I am thankful for this community. Going to see a lawyer on Tuesday, says it should be a simple process from a logistical standpoint at least. I have gone back to seeing my therapist once a week. He is a counselor who is Christian but not a Christian counselor. He doesn't answer everything with just pray about it or God works in mysterious ways or any of that BS. He will bring that stuff into the session if I ask him to, but not uninvited. In the restaurant she works, she always talked about how their Christian values set them apart from other places. Later, I found out that she has been telling people that the reason we were separated is because I was abusive. I talked with my lawyer and he said the only way that would hurt me is if she filed for a PPO, and the only way she could do that is if she had concrete evidence. That means no going back to her work, contacting her, etc. Yesterday I got the ring back, which was really difficult. My lawyer will send her documents to sign, and if she doesn't contest anything, we can move forward with scheduling a hearing, which is about a 2-month waiting period. Last night I went out with a friend and we drank a lot and ended up making out. It didn't go much further than that, but the amount of shame I'm feeling is palpable. She says we don't have anything to feel guilty about, that my soon-to-be ex-wife has moved on and it was fun. On paper, we are still married, and I feel I have stooped to her level and lost some ground. I still feel committed to my soon-to-be ex-wife, even if she isn't committed to me. I still feel like I am in that relationship. Even if I'm not, even if she has moved on, my heart is still there. Our relationship is dead. We are over. We still exist on paper. We are just waiting for our court hearing. But she has been gone for some time and by all accounts is still sleeping with the other guy. It has been 41 days since D-Day. Way too soon for me to be messing around with anyone else. Was that cheating? Logically, I don't think so. We are done and she has moved on to someone else. But I am so scared of becoming a cheater. I am so scared of becoming that. I have a tendency to dwell in shame to the point where it does more breaking than building. Even when I was single, I didn't do a lot of meeting up with women. So a large part of this is my wrestling with going against my own values. Now we have the first update coming up next. But before that, let me remind you to hit the like button if you are enjoying the story so far, so that this story will reach more beautiful people like you around the planet. Now here's the update. A little bit of context. She had locked herself out of the apartment since we were separated and living in different places. But she texted asking for my key to get in. Said she was using the landlord's copy and needed mine. I haven't given it back. One last little F you, I suppose. Or maybe that is the last thing I'm holding on to. Like if I surrender that, I'm surrendering the relationship. She's paranoid by her own admission, terrified I'll break into the house. I've never been violent with her, never laid a hand on her, and I've assured her numerous times that I wouldn't resort to aggression. That being said, the idea of being afraid feels good, knowing that she knows I have access to her house if I really wanted to, that I still have a way in. I'm choosing to hold on to that, to nurse that. Maybe I just don't want to let her go all the way. Maybe I still love her. I know that's wrong, but I've felt so powerless the entire relationship. So yeah, that's where I'm at. These are the days when it's the worst, when I'm at work and there is literally nothing to do but research and file. The time I have to think. These are the times when I would normally text my wife, text her telling her how bored I was, what you're up to, how's work, anything new, blah blah blah. I miss that, the regular stuff, the day-to-day stuff. I forgot how lonely it is to be single. Talk to Scott about the key and explain that all behavior has a function. This is the only thing I have control over. It makes sense. I never had control during the marriage. I didn't have control during the divorce. Handing over the key is giving it up. 100% giving it up. I don't want to go home. I don't want to go to work. I'm struggling, really struggling, having trouble finding something to look forward to. I don't know if I'll come back from this. I was certain, like really certain, that she was the one. I thought I had dodged a bullet with my last fiancé. Maybe I just traded a raw onion for rat poison. One is gross, the other one destroys you. Who knows? That one could have been worse, probably would have been, but the point is my judgment is messed up. My mum asked me if I ever saw myself getting married again, moving on. Right after she asked, she realized it was too soon for the question. Don't get me wrong, it definitely was. I'm not ready to remotely consider moving on, but if I had to answer now, I would say no, no, no. I'm not getting married again. Long story short, we are divorced. I have tested for STDs and am clean. WS displayed no remorse and blamed me for her cheating. I am seeing a therapist. There has been no contact with X or AP since the divorce. I am not looking for people to tell me how I should feel, who I should be angry or not angry with, or how I should be responding in general. To clarify, I am not normally this angry, but I think being at a wedding triggered it. Had another session with my therapist today. Super helpful. I told him about how emasculating it was to do nothing. He compared me to Batman. He said one of the reasons Batman is a hero is because of what he doesn't do, how he chooses not to destroy. He told me choosing to do nothing was a sign of strength, not weakness. It was a very empowering thing. He said I was able to redirect myself feeling bad because of the AP. To me, respecting myself while feeling bad for the AP, feeling bad for what he is, what he represents, and the depth he is steeped to. Thank you, friends, for being a listening ear. Well, guys, thanks for listening to today's story. Hope you enjoyed it as much as I did recording it for you. If you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you won't miss out on our future videos. Take care.